All right. Turn my video on. All right, let's see. Can you guys hear me? Want to draw me a line if you can hear me? Sorry, I'm not great with Facebook Live. All right, looks like we're good. Hey, could you guys give me a comment if you can hear me? I just want to make sure that everything's good. Got ya. All right. Awesome. Thanks, guys. All right. So a little bit about sales. So I got a couple comments. A couple people in the group were asking and basically saying that they wanted to start transferring from doing so many residential jobs to start focusing a little bit more on commercial. And just putting my comments up here so I can see. So I'm going to talk about a couple of different ways to do that. The first thing that I'm going to say, guys, is we're entrepreneurs, right? If you own your own business, you're an entrepreneur. And if you're like anything like me, I get so excited about something and I dive headfirst into it. So what I'm going to ask is, if you want more commercial jobs, to take a step back and be intentional about it and define that. So one of the things that I was showing over the weekend when I went in here is, for different commercial jobs, how do you go and get them? If you define exactly what type of a commercial job you want, and even residential job, but if you define exactly what that job is, then you can figure out how to do sales to basically qualify the different leads that you have, so you can get more of those jobs, and you can figure out how to do marketing directly to those jobs. So overall, I'll just tell you what I see. I have hundreds of different websites all across the country that rank number one in basically every large metropolitan area basically in the country. And what we see on average is every 5 phone calls, 4 of them are probably going to be for residential, right? So that's just from, if you're ranking on Google or you're generating leads from Google, that's how a lot of them are going to be. So what I would suggest is setting up your sales process so that you can weed out those jobs if you don't want them, or you can make it easier on yourself and price them so that it makes sense for you to do them. And then you can have a specific sales process and specific marketing to get commercial jobs. So this was the little chart that I made. Hopefully you guys can see this. I'll try to make it a little bit bigger. So for every different lead that you guys get, what up, Justin? For every different lead that you guys get, right, there's going to be different types of jobs, right? So this is just one lead, one example that I'm talking about. There are so many different outcomes to every single phone call, right? You can have a new lead. It can immediately be commercial or it can be residential. And for either of those, let's say it's commercial in this case, you have epoxy, you have probably polishing, staining, overlays, and for each of those, there's several different options, right? And budget is going to be dependent on which option they choose. So what I'm going to talk about today is how to identify your customer on the phone and educate them, and then figure out which job really they want and how you can charge more for that job. So what I'm going to do is pull up a sales script that I created. I'll give this to you guys. I'll give you this sales script. If you want to just send me a personal message, or actually put something in the comments that you want it, then I'll reach out to you and send this to you. But there's a couple principles that I want you guys to keep in mind when you answer the phone. And this is basically to qualify your customer and bracket them to figure out which job and which price point they're going to be at. And then if that price point doesn't make sense to you, then you can disqualify them right there. But this is what you're going to bring them through to start to understand where they fall on the different scale of jobs. So what I say is to always just introduce yourself no matter what. Hi, my name's George. I'm with XYZ Epoxy. Who am I speaking with? Always get their name, remember their name, ask how you can help. All right. And then no matter what they say, this whole part of the process is just discovery. That's the most important thing for all of this. So how can I help? Right? People love to talk. Your customers love to talk. If you ask, how can you help them? They're going to start spouting things off. And you know what that means? It's the time to just listen. So ask, how can I help you? Wait for their full response. You're going to understand just from that question, is this commercial? Is this residential? And probably what the square footage is of the job and where they're located, just from asking that one question. And I want you guys to note these things because it's really important to start to understand that. So, all right, how can I help you? Start getting that all the information that they give you, and then no matter no matter what they say, all right, no matter what they say to your question, how can I help you? No matter what, just tell them, great, you called the right place. I'm going to help you. I'm an expert in this, and I've been in this for however many years. We use the best machines, we use the best materials, we've been certified, right? All the things that you guys know, let them know that, and let them know that you're going to help them no matter what. I don't care if they're calling for a vinyl wood floor. It doesn't matter. All right. Just say, all right, great. I know this industry and I'm going to help you. You called the right place. All right. Because if you take that mindset into your call, then you're going to build your brand. You're going to build your reputation. Even if it is a vinyl floor and they called you by accident, then you know what? Maybe it's an opportunity for you to develop a relationship with a guy that does vinyl flooring. Send the lead to him and he'll send you back some leads for concrete coatings. But let them know that they called the right place. It's going to reassure them right off the bat. Then after you tell them that you specialize in this, you're going to go into asking qualifying questions. So this is where you start to understand where they fall. So ask where they're located, how large is the job, how many square feet, try to get some sort of an estimate so you can start to qualify them. Is there anything on the surface? All the basic things. So you can start, you're calculating in your head right now, how much is this job going to be? All right. So if you're, how much is is there anything currently on the surface? That stuff is, you're tacking on extras. All right. So there's glue. Okay, great. What type of condition is the concrete in? Are there cracks? Are there different issues with the surface? How long has it been around? And then the most important question, ask them when they're actually looking to get this job done. And then after that, you're just gonna wait. All right. You're gonna ask them, when are they looking to get this job done? And you can even flutter if you want at that time. Do you have a budget for this project? But really at that point, it's time to go into, okay, so based on what you told me, based on your needs, you have a commercial kitchen, and you're going to now, I'm going to go back to this right here. You're going to start leading them down the different options. So you're going to say, based on your space, there are several different things that you can do. So you can do a solid epoxy, you can do a regular vinyl flake epoxy, or you can do quartz or mortar. You basically go up the price scale. Every time that you say that the different type of product, you're going to bracket them in a price. So, all right, for a commercial kitchen floor, we can do a solid epoxy on that. For that, you're going to be looking between $3 and $4.50 a square foot. You're giving an estimate here because you want to see their reaction. So between $3 and $4.50 a square foot, based on how the type of shape the floor is in, what type of removal we have to do. If you want a regular vinyl flake floor, then we're looking closer to between $5 and $6. If you're looking for an FDA approved, quartz floor that's going to last for the next 30 years, that is really the type of floor that you need for your kitchen with a cove base and, really all the bells and whistles, then for that, you're looking closer to $9 to $12 a square foot. And you're throwing out these different prices and you're saying the benefits of the floor along with it. And then after that, you just wait. Because after that, you're gonna hear their feedback. They're gonna say, oh, well, I'm definitely looking for quartz. That's what I need. So you're giving those different prices and the different options for them because you're educating them on what that actually means. You can't ever assume that your customer actually knows what they're looking for. So you're bringing them through that educational process. And during that, you're going to basically understand, like, is this guy, all right, like, he wants a quartz floor, but he's looking for $3 a square foot. Like, this guy really isn't worth my time. After they come back and they let you know which one is going to actually be the best option for them, then you just move forward immediately. Don't wait. Don't worry about, don't worry about anything else. You just say, okay, when can I fit you into this schedule? It's our policy to collect a 50% deposit up front. What type of credit card do you have to pay for that? And just move directly forward. So, that's just the basic overview of how to collect as much information as you possibly can and bracket price on the phone. You might get people that when you start going through brackets, they're going to say, oh, well, I wanted paint or something like that. All right, great. Well, you want paint, go to a painter. But this will give you the opportunity to get real feedback from your customer. You guys have any questions for me? Bueller, anyone? All right, guys. Well, I'll tell you what, I've got a bunch of different examples based on how they respond to you, how you can respond back to them. So there's lots of different ways to overcome objections. There's a lot of different ways to do this. I think the main thing to keep in mind is when you answer the phone, no matter what, first off, just listen. Tell them you called the right place. All right. Get them feeling comfortable. Doesn't matter what they called for. The next thing you want to think about is active listening. All right. I was in charge of a call center that took 80,000 calls per month. The just industry standard for an inbound phone call, I want you to really think about this. It's 80% the customer talking. You should only be talking 20% of the time. So this initial call is just all about discovery. It's all about collecting as much information as you can. These qualifying questions that I'm asking are basically to get them talking. You want them to sell themselves. So if they're telling you the reason why they want this floor, and then they come back and they say, well, we're looking to spend $3 a square foot. Well, they already told you the reason why they want the floor. they had somebody slip, or they have an inspection, their kitchen isn't going to pass. I mean, there's lots of different reasons, and when they tell you that reason, I'll tell you what, paying the price of the floor is probably worth it. If they're losing business over not having this floor, and they give you that information when you're asking questions, you always have that. That's like a nugget. Like you're trying to get the pain points here and to understand the real reason that they need that, because I'll tell you, like, paying $40,000 for a floor is nothing compared to a lawsuit. It's nothing compared to a car dealership losing business because they've got ugly floors. It's nothing compared to, a kitchen that's, that is basically a hazard. So this is really the whole reason for this. You're just trying to listen, keep in mind, have the customer talk 80%. You should only be talking 20%. In your mind, you're calculating the job in your head as you do this. I know it might sound like a lot right now. It's something that you have to practice. I mean, it doesn't come overnight. I've basically I've been practicing this for the last 15 years, but so it doesn't happen overnight, but it's really, it's pretty basic. And a lot of this stuff is really just about understanding the concepts behind it. Like the emotions behind the buyer. Once you can identify their pain points and you actually listen to them, then it's time to present the solution. And this is basically what every sales training guru out there in the world talks about, but I'm fitting this specifically for your industry and giving you the specific questions that you can ask to bring them through that buying cycle. So I hope this stuff is helpful. If you're interested in actually getting this sales script, you can just comment below. Comment, I want the sales script, and I'll send you a message with it. So I hope that was helpful, guys. I'll talk to you soon. Okay, let me see if there are any other questions. Thanks, Kelly. Yeah, that's it. I mean, this is right out of a corporate training book. I mean, this is basic sales, but I'll tell you, it's one of the most important things. It's one of the most important things that are out there. And doing this correctly will not only get you more jobs, it doesn't cost you $1. It will, it'll help you increase your sales. You'll be able to get a higher price, and you'll be able to weed people out that really aren't a fit for you. So, all right. Have a good night, guys.